Good evening, folks. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get the rest of the drivers into the lobby and the stream all set up and ready to go. It's round 2 of APPF1 Tier 2, and we're going to Monza tonight. Do not go anywhere. Alright, there we go. Good evening, folks. 3 people in the stream already. Make sure you've dropped a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and of course feel free to engage with us in the live chat. It's be awesome to have as many people in as we do get on occasion, and when you do engage with us and start a bit of a conversation, that makes it all the more better. Gosh, I think we're waiting for a couple more. LB's joining us in
Yeah,
qualifying.
during quali. We're going to go off in about a minute.
Alrighty, there you heard it here first, about a minute. And this is coming from the stats guy, everyone, so this is correct information. We don't lie to you here at APPF1. Oh dear. Start as we mean to go on. Gosh. We've got some returning faces on the grid. Max. There's Pommy Alex is back. Season 3 champion. Let's hope he can have a better race than all of his season of... Not season 3, no, season 6 champion. What am I talking about? I'm thinking of a different division, or a different tier, or whatever. There's too many now. Oh. Alrighty, let's stop getting going.
We're off.
We are off indeed. I've got my water. Where's my comm script? There is it. There we go. Right, good evening everyone and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening, and I'm joined as always by my amazing co-commentator Ghost. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. It's always a good time in Monza, sometimes for better reasons than others. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. It's always the highlight of a calendar, this track. And I'm sure today will be no different.
Indeed. So it's round 2 then, and we do head to a special place. It sounds like it's raining to me, and it is. So that's going to throw a spanner in the works for sure. Monza, the Temple of Speed, was the venue where APPF1 Tier 2 started, and where I also dipped myself into the world of commentary for the very first time as well, back in July 2021, I want to say it was. All that time ago when APPF1 Tier 2 first started up for its pre-season for Season 1. But anyway, 5.793 kilometres see us on a lap around Monza, a lap that has the highest average top speed of any circuit on the Formula 1 grid, only beating Saudi Arabia, I believe, which holds the record for the fastest street circuit with the highest top speed, or whatever you want to say it in. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Tier 1 was full of battles here on Friday, and with the grid that we have tonight, we should have plenty more to come. Any thoughts on tonight's race, Ghost?
Yeah, it's all going to be about surviving turn 1 and then surviving the rest of the race, because it's so easy to bottle it at this track. Ascari, the Della Roggia, the two Lasmos, it's so easy to just clip too much of a curb, or to put the acceleration on a bit too early and you are gone into the wall. So our drivers are going to have to be very careful in quali and the race, and they're going to have to get used to these conditions in qualifying.
Yeah, I was going to say, never mind surviving the race, they've got to survive qualifying first. If any of the drivers are in the chat right now, do let us know if it is going to be raining for the race. It's looking...
It is.
It is raining for the race.
I have insider knowledge from Darth. It is a dry to wet race.
Well then, looks like the wet stuff is joining us here at Monza as Lawrence takes a very deep line through the Della Roggia chicane of turn 4 and 5. But anyway, let's take our attention to the championship then, and we're riding along with our championship leader at the moment in the Red Bull is Lawrence on 23 points after a win last time out in Spain. Daphne Hillis, after a great recovery drive, is in P2 on 21 points, just 2 points behind Lawrence there, with LB on 18 points in the sister Red Bull car, with Bergen on 16, Tier on 15, Maniac Mango on 14 points, and TTV Judith in the Alpine on 13. Only 7 drivers have scored thus far, 10 drivers have competed. We've got a few more drivers on the grid, so we're going to have a bit more of a full run through. If we take a look over to the Constructors' Championship now, Red Bull starting off strong like they did last season. They're 20 points ahead of their next nearest competitors. 41 points is the lead total in the Constructors, with 21 going to the Ferrari outfit as well. 16 for AlphaTauri, Mercedes on 15 points, then McLaren 14 and Alpine 13. It's fairly close between the teams in amongst the mid-pack, but Red Bull starting off their season strong, just like last time.
Absolutely right. I can't remember what we both predicted for the Constructors' title, Sumo, but...
I've got it written down somewhere.
I think it's far from over for sure. You know, obviously 9 rounds to go, but also those Ferraris, they didn't have Robsu last time out, and Robsu's a very good driver. So if he makes it to all races, I'm sure there's going to be some calamities that await us. It is Tier 2 after all, over the rest of the season. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and Constructors still very much in the balance. All it takes is a DNF. Yeah,
it certainly is. And we're watching Lawrence come around now. We had a couple of DNFs in Tier 1 last time. It's quite a dramatic race. We had a couple safety cars. of course, you raced in a Tier 1 Ghost. How was that?
It was fun. It was good. I took the mediums quite a long way again because there was an early safety car, and should have won the race but for a track limits penalty that I got for the left-hander, the start of Ascari. All 3 warnings were there. So I was quite annoyed about that, but it was still a good race. And Muhitti's in the wall and out of qualifying just as Lawrence sets the first lap of the session, and he's going to be devastated about that. His woes continue, his recent woes, I should say, and disaster for Muhitti again.
Oh dear, Muhitti. When will he catch a break? That is the question we're all asking ourselves. Here is his former teammate, Pommy Alex, coming around in the Alfa Romeo. Lawrence has set the pace on a 1:32.0. I'm sure there's plenty more out there. Bergen has gone out on the intermediate tyres. He thinks it's not as wet as everybody else. 33.2 from Pommy. How about Mr. J-Man in the other Alfa, Aston Martin even? It's a 31.8, so the pace is quickening out there. Tier in the Mercedes at 31.831, but faster by 3 thousandths of a second.
He loves the wet Tier, he really does. Spends a lot of time on his wet setups, and by 3 thousandths he goes top. Robsu beats them by nearly a second in the Ferrari.
Wow.
So clearly a lot of time left to find out there. Darth Nihilus is just coming out the pits for his out lap now. But there's plenty of others on laps to see if anyone can get near that time from Robson.
Yeah, to those brave enough to find a bit of teamwork coming from JB and Crozer. They've swapped out their Scarlet Ferraris for the blue Williams cars. So these two pairing up once again, but in a different outfit. Lawrence slowly going around. I think the approach for this session goes, do you think the drivers are going to go out in for some some newer rubber throughout the session, or are they going to come out and do a cool-down lap and then a fast lap, then a cool-down lap, then a fast lap? What do you think?
Oh, Pommy's out, and Womack's nearly out as well. Sorry, I'll answer your question in a sec, Sumo, but Womack's just binning it on the exit of Ascari. Luckily, just only his front wing was the only casualty, but Pommy Alex lost a wheel. He is not going to improve in this session. Yeah, to answer your question, I think because the ERS is going to drain, you can't really do 2 laps in a row. So if you're going to do more than 1 lap on the same tyre, you have to do 1 lap and then a cool down and charge back up your ERS and then another lap. I think we'll see drivers do that, but because of that ERS situation, it kind of forces you to come in for the fresh rubber at some point. And not to mention the fuel as well, which they'll have put in varying amounts of. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting session. It's not going to be the usual everyone's laps are pretty pretty in sync with each other. Everyone does a lap at the same time or a similar time. It will be very much spread out throughout the 18 minutes, which is better actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen my fair share of wet qualifyings in my time now, and it's just varied, really. Some drivers do prefer to stay out and go longer, and others do prefer to come in and to sort of play it a bit more traditionally, let's say, in terms of qualifying. But I guess it's down to preference, and of course down to what the sort of track is sort of allowing you to do. As we watch Crozer make his way through the Parabolica to set his first lap of the evening, it's not going to be toward the top, but it's going to be a P8 for Krauser, so just a 10th behind Pommy Alex, who's out of the session. So he'll want to try and improve on that lap time if he can. It's Mr. J-Man on a lap right now. He is. He's 4/10ths up, actually, Ghost. And we saw Mr. J-Man do really well in qualifying last season. And this is his first race back. He missed the last race, of course. I believe it was... I believe he was fasting during that period. So obviously the time's clashing with his time to eat. But it's 1:31.3. And edging closer to Robsu, but still some time on the board left to be found.
Yeah, and Tier improved when we weren't looking as well by about half a second, so he's going to be up there in this qualifying session. But Robsu in a league of his own right now. Maniac Mango in the McLaren is coming through as well through Sector 2 at the moment, and the final sector coming towards Parabolica. Robsu goes even faster, a 30.4 He is looking unstoppable in that Ferrari right now. His teammate is resigned to the pit lane. Darth has come out a couple of times, but he's gone straight back in. So no lap set yet for the reigning champ. Maniac Mango, a 31-3, splits Mr. J-Man and Tier. Very close between those three, and he goes on the second row.
Yeah, I think this is going to be quite the qualifying session. I think we're going to be in for some great lap times from some of the drivers. Crows is 6/10 up on his previous, so he could go shooting up the table as well. Let's see if it's all come together for the Williams driver. It's only P8, but he gets himself a little bit closer and in amongst the mix of a lot of the other drivers as well. Splits the, gets up behind his teammate and ahead of Fido, man. I was almost thinking those were the same colours there, but they're not. Let's see who else is out. Is J-Man on a lap? No, I think he's just completed one. Womax is on an out lap right now as well. Darth Hillis, he's on an out lap as well. He'd have had some practice in from Tier 1 Darth Hillis, but he's not been able to set a lap time yet.
Yeah, he will have done. Bergan is on a lap now, but he's just had a half spin out of turn 2. He's on the intermediates. He's trying them out, but it doesn't seem to be the tyre to be on at the moment. See if Darth Hillis does set a lap this time, or if he goes back in the pits again. Womax in the Haas as well, also on a lap, coming out of turn 2 now on those wet tyres. JB on an out lap, a couple of others. But yeah, Robsu just nearly a second clear of Mr. J-Man. LB is in just in time to be able to set maybe a lap or two in his Red Bull, so good to see. Maniac Mango improves to second, and that's a lot better. Much closer to Robsu there. Maniac Mango right up there. Someone's retired. I think that was that
Fido Man.
Fido Man? Yeah, it was.
Man,
yeah, unfortunately retiring. Looks like the exit of Parabolica. He's spinned it. Easy to do. As Womax comes through, what's he going to be through Sector 2? 1 minute, 0.3. It's not too bad from what I've seen already, as Lawrence improves up to P5.
Yeah, I think J-Man's up on his previous as well. Not by too much, but it could see him maybe get a little bit further up if he can find some time through the Parabolica now. Let's watch the Aston Martin make his way through. A star of qualifying last season. Can he get himself in amongst the mix and even closer and into those 1 minute 30s? It looks like he can. No, not quite. Only a 10th improvement. Doesn't quite improve his time. Gets him a little bit further away from Tier. Not much of an improvement from Womax on that lap there. Who else is crossing the line?
He was up to P5.
Oh, P5. There we go.
That's his first lap that he set. So up to P5 for him. Darth Nihilus, the reigning champ, also on a lap at the moment. I'm going to watch his time through Sector 2. If it's around about a minute, it's pretty good. 59, 1 minute, 1 minute 0.3. It's pretty much identical to Womax. So the champ could see himself up into the top 5 here if he can hook up Sector 3.
Yeah, that looked pretty clean through Ascari there. Very tentative as you could expect. It's an easy place to drop the car, even in the dry conditions, let alone in these wet, slippery conditions from the Ferrari. But can he get himself on the front row? Can he get the Tifosi fans roaring? No, he can't. He could get them roaring about the wrong thing and lose his front wing. That's not going to help his campaign in this race at all. And if he can't get a decent lap time in the time that we've got remaining, then he might find himself toward the bottom. But it's not all over yet. We've got 6 minutes left in this session.
Times improving across the board, Sumo. Lawrence up to P3, very close to Robsu. He's getting used to the track now. Crows are up to P7 as well. Mr. J-Man improved his time, but only enough for P5 for now. Matthias is also on a better lap in that AlphaTauri. Coming through Sector 3 now towards Parabolica, as he didn't make the best name for himself at the end of last season, so hopefully he can do himself justice this season round. Comes up to the line. It's looking like a decent lap though. 31.1 up to 4th place for Matthias.
So close out there. These are some absolutely incredible qualifying times. I think Bergen's giving it another go. It's invalidated though, so it's not really going to do much for him at the time being. I think the Williams duo are back out on track. JB looks like he's on a lap at the moment. Fando says in the live chat that he lost it the same way as Darth Nihilus just did. But at least Darth survived. That's a shame, Fido. It would have been a greater Tito. I can never. Names are the worst for me. But JB Steve, fastest in Sector 2.
He's up 8/10. Yeah, 8/10 up for JB. 1 minute point 1. That was faster than Darth was at that point, and Wumax. So JB could see himself perhaps up into the top 7, which is where pretty much everyone else is in terms of how close the times are. JB coming round the final corner. What's it going to be for the man in the Williams? 29.30, just about in the 30s. It's up to P4. Great effort from the British driver.
Yeah, it looks like people are going to be finding that time in the first sector. That's where the improvement needs to come in at the moment. And J-Man, he's up on his lap as well. Not by too much. Let's see where he can put himself in the Aston Martin. Coming down towards the line in the British Racing Green car. It's P2!
That's a fantastic effort from Mr. J-Man, so close to Robsu, who's now going to start sweating now that people are finally getting close to him. Remember, he was nearly a second up on anyone else just 5 minutes ago, and now it's less than 2/10.
Yeah, the gap is tumbling down as it goes along. I think Krauser, is he on a lap right now? He might be. I don't think so, actually. Definitely not after cutting the Della Roggia like that. That's certainly not going to help his chances out. How about his team? I think JB just set a lap, so he's not going to be on one again. Matthias, no, he's just finished a lap. Let's watch. I think Robsu has just started a lap. Yes, he has.
LB invalidated his attempt, so he's going to have to try again. Darth Nihilus nearly spins it again at Parabolica. He's really struggling in these conditions. He just needs to get something on the board. The last place he wants to finish is, well, last place in this qualifying session. It's with a race at Monza. It can be a bit easier to gain up positions if you're out of position in qualifying, but he still doesn't want to finish right at the back there in this session.
No, certainly not. And yeah, he's definitely going to have to try and put a decent lap in, and I'm sure he will if he can get one together. At the moment, watching his teammate now, he's coming down towards the Sector 2 line. Where is it going to put him? Can he get himself any further away? Lawrence is putting on the intermediates. Tier on the intermediate tyres as well, so some drivers thinking the rain has eased up. It's not a huge improvement, but he does go purple to the middle sector, does Robsu. At the moment, he's a 10th down on his previous, and that's not going to help him. He's lost the rear end. Puts it in the wall, keeps the car in the session, but that's going to be his qualifying override, I thought.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's enough time to get back in the pits and out again. Darth Nihilus 59.9 in Sector 2, though. It's looked like a shaky lap, so I'm surprised he's so far up, but this could see Darth. No, he's lost it! He's
same place!
Sorry. Oh no, the commentator's coincidence strikes again, and Darth definitely does not have enough time now to set a lap. He's going to have to just go to the line. He can't go in and fix his wing. He's just going to have to hope that other people don't set times. If he goes across the line, he'll at least be ahead of Muhiti and Bergen.
Yeah, Bergen's just put it in the wall as well, losing it at Ascari. Ascari claims a third victim in only a few, well, less than a minute, I'd have said, at the moment. But Ascari proving very tricky out there in these conditions at the moment. Let's see who else is out on circuit right now. Lawrence is on an out lap. I think LB's also doing the same. I think Tier is going to be our next driver to set a lap. Yeah, he's on the intermediates.
5/10 down though in Sector 1. It doesn't look like it's inter weather yet. Even when the game says the inters are faster, they can still be slower because you can't get them up to temperature in the conditions, and I think that might be the case here. So it's going to be who's last across the line with the wet tyres may have the best chance of getting pole here.
Yeah, certainly so. And I think Womax is going to be the... No, he's starting a lap. I think it's always annoying trying to find the driver who's going to cross the line first, setting a lap. I think that might go to... No, it won't be J-Man. He's on an out lap as well. The drivers have really got to be pushing to get their cars to the end here. I think it's going to be Lawrence, actually. He's going to be the first to actually set a lap. Yes, he's crossing the line, so I think it's going to be either Lawrence or Womax. Womax is invalidated, so it will be Lawrence.
Yeah, so Lawrence will be the last across the line unless actually there's 3 cars all going across the line right now, so they'll all be last across the line, but they're very close to each other, Sumo, and that could easily end in disaster. That is session over, so everyone's got to finish their laps. Maniac Mango nearly loses it in Parabolica. Can he get anywhere near Robsu's time? No, he's way down on his previous best, so Mango will not improve. Neither will the top 2. They're both in the pits. Lawrence coming through Sector 1, but those inters are just not it. It's not improving at all. It's definitely wet tyres at the moment. JB he's unfortunately getting stuck behind Tier there, and that is a disaster in qualifying planning. All 3 of them wanted to be last across the line, but JB has ended up suffering because of it. What about Tier as well? No, he's well down on his best as well. Wumax has invalidated, so he's not going to improve. I think might be where the session ends, Sumo. I think this is the standings, because those inters do not look quick.
No, not at all, and I think there's a bit of poor timing in terms of session, run plans out there, and lots of drivers. I mean, J-Man is out. Look, he's up on his time, but actually, this is just his AI, actually, but, you know, he could have improved on that lap time. You know, Robsu binned it at the last moment. He only had a 10th or so to find, and I'm sure he'll be kicking himself at that. But that's it. That's the way it goes sometimes in motorsport, and that's going to be a qualifying session here at Monza. And wow, what a session it has been. Look how close those times were. A 10th between the top 2, and then only 3/10 behind is Maniac Mango, who's then got Lawrence only a couple hundredths back, and a 10th or so back is JB, and a 10th or so back from JB is Mattis. It's so close between the field, and it's just a great session.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Darth Nihilus showed a bit of a lack of experience there. When he broke his wing at Ascari, he just went straight back in the pits. But if he'd just gone and completed the lap and then gone back in the pits afterwards, he would have been at least 14th, probably 13th, because Bergen's time was so far off. So yeah, a bit of inexperience there from Darth, which is surprising for the reigning champ.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's going to be quite the comeback from Darth. Well, the recovery from this session anyway. But let's run us through the field then while the time ticks down. Robsu is your man on pole position, with J-Man lining up alongside him. Maniac Mango and Lawrence take up the second row, with JB rounding off the top 5. Matthias, Krauser, Tier, Wumax and Fido Man, they round off the top 10, with Pommy Alex, LB, Bergen, Muhiti and Darth Nihilus rounding off the rest of the grid. Muhiti and Darth not being able to set times.
Indeed, Muhiti with the crash, Darth with, well, several crashes. He's going to be very disappointed with that, but the race is starting dry from what I hear, and then going to wet later. So we'll see if that does end up being true or not. But it certainly looks quite sunny to start off the race, so Darth will be very happy to see that, because I think his record in the wet has not been great from what I remember.
No, not at all, and this will be what helps him sort of propel himself forward. But the question that we must ask ourselves is, when in the race is the rain going to come? Because sometimes the game likes to tell you it's coming at the end of the race, and it never actually shows up until the last few laps, and safety cars might bring that period of rain even closer to us, and with more laps of racing on the slippery stuff. It's going to be down to strategy, who calls it right today, and it should be, or it feels like it's going to be quite the race on our hands, and very much fitting, because it's a very special day today, Ghost.
It is?
It is, yeah. If today didn't happen all those many years ago, then yours truly wouldn't be here.
What's happening?
What is that? Am I being too am I speaking in riddles?
I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Well, let's just say 24 years ago on this day, I came into the world.
Wow! You kept that quiet, didn't you? Happy birthday, yes. My man.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm definitely not looking for attention, although if anyone wants to wish me happy birthday, it wouldn't go amiss. Thank you, Life Bow. Yes, it's my birthday today. Pommy's got himself disqualified already. That is not the start he would have wanted at all. I wonder what's happened there. But let's run us through. We'll stop my attention seeking and we'll run us through the strategy. And once again, we've got a complete mix on the strategy. Everybody opting for a different tyre. Rob Sue going for the hards. Might be the wise choice with the rain coming in. And then we got J-Man, Maniac Mango, Lawrence, JB, Matthias, Krauser and Tier all on the yellow-walled tyres, with Womax sandwiching a bunch of medium runners on the hards. Then Fido starting on the softs, Pommy Alex on the mediums, LB on the softs as well, opting for an aggressive start to his race. Bergen mediums, Muhiti mediums, and Darth on the hards. Gonna go conservative toward the back is the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was him. But we don't know when the rain is coming. They don't really know either. They have a rough estimate if it is indeed coming, but they don't know for sure. So some strategies could end up being master strokes here, and some could end up being absolute horror shows, as always with changeable conditions. So this race, well in the balance, and pole position means absolutely nothing for these types of races.
Yeah, I wonder if Pommy just didn't go off the line.
Maybe.
I don't see it being contact, but let's hope he's back behind his rig or at his controller or however he races at the moment. Let's hope for a better camera angle at the start. Mango disqualified. I'm trying to see if anyone's parked outside the lines like Lifebound did last in a tier 1.
That was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Well, no attempt to park in the lines, Lifebound. I don't know what that was about. Fernando Alonso was robbed, is all I'm saying. But anyway, we're going to go racing. There's 4 or 5 red lights. It's an awful camera angle. Thank you, Codemasters. We're waiting to go racing any second now. Come on, game, let's go. Go, go, go. Where's the racing? The safety car's already out. Oh, what is going on?
Oh, no.
Oh, the game's broken. The game has broke. It's collapsed. I think we're going to have a lobby reset. Oh, my. Thank you, Codemasters. There it goes, the safety car. This is the strangest... Okay, and they're off. They're racing, but
LB's connection.
Yeah, LB's connection. Look at him. He's already toward the front of the race. I don't know what is going on. I think the drivers are very confused as well.
Yeah.
I think this might be a reset, Ghost. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely a lobby reset.
Yeah, we'll get that in the Discord then. Big apologies from everybody. I think everyone's sort of clocked on as to what's happening. Well, all I can say is that this game is toward the end of its life cycle, and it is still producing the weirdest glitches that really shouldn't be coming into effect, and really leaving a sour taste in the mouth of anybody trying to enjoy the racing. And I do not... being a commentator is never easy when you've got to deal with this crap.
Certainly isn't. Yeah, that was
Fix your game, Codemasters. Fix your game.
I think that was some sort of connection problem from someone. Yes, hopefully everyone catches on. I'm going to get invites out as soon as I can. Apologies for that, everyone.
Meanwhile, we'll just watch all the ghosted cars make their way around the race. Whoever stayed in is going to be thinking, God, I'm bloody winning here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maniac Mango, I think he's still in the session. He's just going for it.
He's gone. He's gone.
Oh, my word.
Thinking I'm in. Easy win.
I know. Oh, God, there's a Ferrari going off in the... Bloody hell. It's all kicking off, but I think, yes...
He's still on there.
He is. He's still going. He's still going. He's getting those practice laps in. It's all worth it. In the end. Right, let's back out of here then, and hopefully the second time is the charm. Hopefully.
Can LB please sort out his internet? Please.
Whatever you have to do, LB.
It's been so long, LB.
If you have to sacrifice somebody to your router, then just do it already. Somebody.
Right.
You know, if you have to Rumpelstiltskin somebody and take their firstborn child or whatever, just do it. Get it done. For the love of God and all things good in the world.
Unax, Matthias. Okay. Maniac Mango.
God, the day they make a Codemasters Formula 1 game that doesn't have any bugs will be probably never. But
the rapture.
Yeah, that's it. That will be the day the world ends.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Kaiser, Tiedemann, Max.
What did Max Gamer says? Oh my god, the Wi-Fi is good enough in all caps. Oh dear.
Okay, so how many did we have? We had
15.
4. We had 15. Okay.
Yes.
So Matthias and Mango. Yes, Matthias and Mango. There they are. There we go. Invites out.
Oh, blimey. It's been a long day today. I'm having to I'm trying to sit with my arm a bit more straight because I got a tattoo done today, and I've got the second skin on, which it just feels weird to sort of move because it's in quite a large area on my forearm, so sort of try not to move too much to keep it on. But, that was my birthday present to myself today. Well worth it. Absolutely love it. Oh dear. We should hopefully be back underway in a few moments' time. Meanwhile, if you are watching, I don't know, grab yourself some snacks or something. Thank you, Rick, for the happy birthday. I don't know, we've got quite the race going on, and it's also race week. We're back to actual Formula 1 racing, everyone, and it's a sprint weekend. I'm gonna have to look. They've made some changes apparently. I've not seen any of it. God, we're going to Baku and Miami back to back, and then we got a week off, and then it's Imola, Monaco, and Spain. Gosh. We go from 3 weeks without Formula 1, and now we've got about, we get 4 races in a month's time? Brilliant stuff. Rick is missing the entire weekend. That is not good enough, except for the race. Oh my.
Who's missing?
Fake fan, really, Rick. That's what I'm hearing. No, you know what? What was the race I missed? I didn't miss it. I watched it later, but I was not getting up early for Australia. Not a chance in hell. I probably won't do the same for Japan either. Because, yeah. No, I'm not getting up that early. You know what? I was going to get up early for the Japanese Grand Prix last season, and I'm so glad that I didn't. Because it's hours of red flags. Like, I think they had I can't remember. But yes, blame the train for no internet. The Wi-Fi's going. We will try and have some fun, Rick, if we can get the lobby to work this time. I'm sure we will. I think we've got everybody back in.
I'm just going to set up the grid using your stream.
There we go. Setting up the grid. It's the last step. Hold on, everybody. We will be there as soon as we can.
I'm Simon Paul, I'm Mr. J-Man, Ross, JB, Corsatia. XTO. LB, Bergen, Muhiti and Off. Okay. I think we're all ready.
Oh dear, right, we're going racing once again. Hopefully no issues this time. We'll take a second formation lap. Maybe some drivers might switch their strategy options. Is this going to affect the weather, Ghost?
Well, we have it will be a dry race. I've had it confirmed from multiple drivers it was dry all race. The one thing this does do, anyone who took a wet setup for quali, or just modified their setup a bit, can now re-equip their dry setup. So a little bit of tomfoolery from Codemasters, thank you for that, but I don't think it will make too much difference in the end. Hopefully we don't get a glitch again. If we do, then LB's getting kicked.
Wow. Gosh. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Fair enough. My word. Right, 3, 2, 1. Let's get to the formation lap then. Let's go round one more time to set this race up. And gosh, what a race we are in for. If you are watching, of course, please do make sure you have liked the stream and have subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Those in the live chat already, those watching along, please do engage. Leave us some predictions or just comment on the race or whatever. Do some engagement in the live chat's always welcome, and I will encourage it all the time. And also, it was a busy week of comms for me last week. I think I had 3 streams on my channel, 1 stream over on JPB, which I'm not sure what's going on with this week, but I'm without Zach on Thursday, so it looks like I'm being left to my own devices, which is a little bit scary, but I'm sure I'll smash it. I've done it before. We're starting for a second. It's counting down for a second time. What is going on? Thank you, Codemasters, for being strange. But there was one race that I don't think I'll ever live down. The craziest season finale I've ever witnessed. I'm pretty sure I annoyed some people as well with my shouting at around 10 o'clock that night. But either way, it's provided me A, with an influx of new subscribers, and B, one of the best races I've ever witnessed as a commentator. And yes, let's see then. Let's run ourselves through the strategy once again. It's more or less the same up until the time you get to Womax, who's swapped the hards for the medium tyres. Then Fido Man, Pommy Alex and LB, they're sticking to their soft combination, with Bergen and Muhiti on the mediums and Darth and Hillis on the hards. So only Womax deciding to switch up his tyre strategy for the race. So only everyone else locking it in and staying true to what they thought was going to happen already.
Yes, indeed. Almost everyone. I think Womax changed tyres, but I never said to them that they had to keep the same tyre, so fair enough.
I mean, it's not locked, is it, anymore? So
no, it's not. So yeah, it's fair enough. And besides, it's all game theory, isn't it? Just because everyone else chose X tyre for lap 1 last time, it doesn't mean they will again, having seen what everyone else has done now. So yeah. But almost everyone did.
Oh gosh. Right then, let's keep everything crossed. Hopefully the game doesn't glitch out this time. Hopefully LB's connection is stable enough. that we can go racing on the second time of asking. It's been 44 minutes since the stream started, and we haven't had a single lap of green flag racing. Hopefully that will be the end of it there, as we get this formation lap wrapped up. Robsu's lining up on the grid now, promising start to his season already. He came into the tier 2 toward the dying stages of last season and really impressed us with a couple podium finishes, or a podium finish, I think. So he did a really sweet job, and it looks like Tier's been disqualified, but that's just him not parking correctly. So it's Bergen as well, and Muhiti as well. Looks like we're going racing once again. A weird shuffle again. Hopefully the safety car's not going to come out. I can't see the lights because of this odd camera angle. We could be going any minute now. I'm hearing engines going. It's lights out, and we're underway here for the Italian Grand Prix APPF1 Tier 2. It's a great start from Robsu, but Mr. J-Man's got him covered as well. He's speeding down towards turn 1 at the moment, looking to pull up along the inside. There's some Todd jostling along the back as well. Maniac Mango cutting across the chicane. Goes Mr. J-Man. He's going to have to give that back. Late braking, but Maniac Mango has taken advantage of this situation. Mango now up into P1. Lawrence follows him through as well. He's ahead of Robsu in the Ferrari as well. Robsu losing places as they go through the Curva Grande.
What a start for Womax as well, up to P6. We've got carnage into Della Rogier as Mr. J-Man goes for the send. Womax is forced wide. A bit of contact between the two. Womax has to give the place back up and loses it to Tier as well as he goes back down the inside of Lesmo 1. Daphne Hillis and Muhiti still languishing at the back, as well as LB. Everyone trying to file through, and it looks all fine for now, but a bit of carnage there in the first sector, as you'd expect.
Yeah, glad everybody's still going. Hopefully there's not too much damage out there as well. The Williams duo having a great start. Let's see where they've got themselves up. Krauser up 3 places. JP holding place. So Krauser getting a great start in the Williams. Best start of anybody, actually, along the grid. So doing well already is the Williams duo. There was a bit of contact between Lawrence and Robsu. That could have ended in tears, but everything seems fine and dandy to me. LB making up a place, although he's run very wide through the parabolic, and now he's side by side with Bergen. He's got no front wing on the Red Bull. Oh no, absolute calamity for LB and his race, and Darth is in the pits as well.
Yeah, he must have taken damage as well, as Maniac Mango and Lawrence go side by side into the first chicane. But Maniac keeps the lead for now. Robsu still keeping up on those hard tyres. That's just what he needs to do. He just needs to keep up with these top two, and he'll have a great chance of winning this race. As LB and Darth come out of the pits, everyone filing through towards Della Rogier. Maniac Mango leads the Italian Grand Prix, as Lawrence now gets a much better exit though out of Della Rogier down the inside for Lesmo 1. Lawrence takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, and what a start it's been to this race for the championship leader.
Yeah, what a great move. I must say, he did have a decent time out there in Tier 1 on the track as well, but I don't think this fight's over yet. Maniac Mango's still got some fight to give. Robsu's there in the background as well, and keep an eye on those Williams cars as well. They're slowly creeping up on the back of this 3-car fight. It's only the end of lap 2 at the moment, and all the cars are still keeping with one another as well. This is going to be quite the promising event. This at the moment. Lawrence is just going to try and lose touch with these guys and open up that gap for the time being and get away from them. But Maniac Mango and Robsu not giving up the fight thus yet, although the McLaren has dropped back significantly.
Bergan getting past Tito for P11.
Here comes Robsu.
Well.
Side by side they go in towards I forget the corner name. It's turn 1 though. Side by side outside for the Ferrari at the moment. Has to back off, although there's gap left for the Ferrari at the moment. This could invite Krauser into the mix as well. He's sniffing the back of that Ferrari, trying to find a gap as well. Meanwhile, Tier and Womax, they're going side by side through Curva Grande. I think the Haas is going to emerge ahead at the moment, although Tier is keeping the fight alive. He's looking toward the outside, which would then become the inside. No way through for the Mercedes.
It's exactly what Lawrence wants. Look at the gap, 1.6 seconds to Maniac Mango now after his battle with Robsu, and it's still going to keep going. Lawrence is just going to extend that gap further. He is clearly loving this track. Maniac, a bit of a mistake out of Lesmo 2, and Robsu with the DRS sweeps all the way around past the McLaren, but Maniac will be back on the run to turn 1. Womack's getting past Mr. J-Man further back as well in the Haas, up to P6 as J-Man goes very deep for Ascari. That's going to cost him at least a second, and the place to Tier, who just about avoids him as he rejoins.
Yeah, he was lucky not to go into the back of Womack's. There was J-Man. That was very late on the brakes there as well. It looks like Mango's pace was good, but it's slowly deteriorating now. And Krauser looks like he's in for a good shot for a battle with the McLaren as Robsu has broke away. Lawrence, fastest man on the circuit, 1 minute 24.1. And that's exactly what he would want to happen. Not what Daphne Hillis would want to see, though, at all. He's currently in a bit of a skirmish about a few corners behind. 27.5 seconds down the road with LB. They're fighting it out for P14 and 15 at the moment.
Yeah, not the position either of them would have been wanting to fight for at this point in the race, but obviously a safety car would bring them straight back into it, and that's exactly what they're going to want, but they can't take those mediums all the way to the end. Trust me, after 19 laps they're gone. So they're gonna have to pit again, and they definitely need a safety car to be within any chance of finishing anything other than last and second last.
Yeah, Darth's just got his way past LB at the moment, and I'm sure they'll be sort of working together to get themselves back in. Womack's displaying how not to say VRS at the moment, as he's got very little left.
Oh, Crozer and Maniac Mango side by side through Ascari. Sorry to interrupt you, Sumo. Crozer sent it down the inside. Mango will feel a bit aggrieved by that, as he maybe was forced to the outside line, but Crozer has passed, and now JB's going for the move as well. Pommy Alex has spun further back, but Mango down the inside. JB trying to hang it round the outside for the overtake. He can't quite do it, and Maniac Mango holds on to P4. Womack is involved now in this battle too, but with no ERS he's going to struggle down this straight towards turn 1. Here comes JB round the outside of Mango. Is Womack's going to make it 3 wide? No, he's not, and JB backs out.
Yeah, I think sensible move there. He backed out, just waiting for a better opportunity around the outside of into the Rettifilio. Doesn't always work. You saw that with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen a couple of seasons ago in Formula 1, but a sensible move from JB, but the Williams duo looking very, very quick out there. Daphne Hillis now the fastest man on the track. It's a 122.7, although LB's keeping touch of him, and I think LB and Darth are swapping places once again. So these two fighting and somewhat working together as well. They've closed up on Pommy because of his spin, but they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, both of them are going to be really wanting to finish ahead of the other, because obviously constructors do matter, even for that one single point. Yeah, for P14, it's all going to be, if a safety car comes out, whoever is ahead is going to have the advantage, of course, when all is said and done. So, yeah, it is a position to fight for, but I don't think either of them are going to want to fight too hard, because it is only P14, as here comes Womack again, round the outside of JBS Steve. He's flying in that Haas at the moment. Up to P5 he goes, and up ahead is Maniac and Crozer going side by side once again. Crozer backing out just like his teammate one lap ago, and Crozer remaining in P4.
Yeah, it's a decent little fight going on here. It's all kicking off, and Tears in the mix too. J-Man as well. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 car train all in this fight for P3 at the moment. And it looks like quite the feisty pack of cars as well, if I do say so myself. And of course there's room for other cars to get involved. The two Alpha Tauris, they're quite close by. Not too far away. It's a yellow flag. Oh, no!
It's a safety car as well. LB and Darth are back in it, but Lawrence from 2 seconds in front has binned it at Lesmo 2. He's done what Lifebout did on Sunday, sorry.
Oh,
and the championship leader is going to be absolutely devastated.
Oh, that is not the round he wanted. And there's one man who'll be, I mean, he won't be happy in any malicious sort of way, but he'll be happy to see that it's Lawrence who's out of the race, because it's going to bring him right back into it. It's our defending champion at the moment, Darth, who's going to get a chance to be back in amongst the pack, and his main rival thus far is nowhere to be seen. He's out of this race, and that is a huge, huge development.
Almost all the medium runners into the pits. Maniac Mango has stayed out, which I think is probably a mistake. The hards will make it. Robsu obviously stayed out because he can't take the mediums all the way. He can, but it would be very, very dicey. Yeah, Robsu in big trouble now. That is a terrible timing for a safety car if you started on the hards.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's they're not quite where you want them to be. You want to sort of be toward the end of the stint for a hard stop, I think. But yes, it's not really going to work out.
Oh,
and Robsu,
what's happened
there?
there?
Work. LB, call a cutting penalty. Excuse me.
Severe collision with Matthias. I'm not sure how that happened. Bit of argy-bargy going on as everyone gives positions back. Don't know how that collision has happened. It doesn't look like any of them have damage, but yeah, that's not ideal at all.
Perhaps out of the pit lane, maybe. That's why only...
Yeah, perhaps. I'm confused as to why LB and Darth haven't pitted for the hards, because they were used, but only a lap. They could easily have gotten the hards to the end, and now they have to stop again, so they're back to square one where they were before. It's an odd decision, that one.
Yeah, it's going to come back to bite them there, I think. And unless they come in now, but you just sort of put yourselves back in the same position, really. You should have come in... a lap well on the last go around, but let's see what they do as they come around Parabolica.
Well, if they don't stop for the safety car, that's very strange. I mean, it's still not too late. They can still come in now, but neither of them have. That's very odd. That's a strange decision from both of them.
Yeah, that might be what keeps them toward the back of the grid, but look who's finding himself in P3. The wily old fox, that's Pommy Alex, in the Alfa Romeo, reserve driver for this evening, I believe. Mm-hmm. And a previous champion, of course. We've got, there's 3 championships on this grid, I think?
3 championships, yeah. Pommy, LB, and Darth, 1 each. Nowhere near
the 11 championships on the current Formula 1 grid.
Yes.
7, of course, belonging to Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Let's not talk about how many championships are in Tier 1.
Yes.
There's quite a few. Lifebelt has a couple, Tinoz has a couple, there's... Who else in Tier 1? Well, when LB is and Darth are reserving, that's another couple. So
very humble there from you guys.
Oh, you know, I don't want to get into that.
It's 6 sprint championships, 1 Tier 1 championship, I think. Right? Am I right?
And 2 elites. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go back racing again. Robsu is going to become the effective safety car. Lawrence says, I am stupid, and pulled a Charles Leclerc and binned it. Yes, that's the only words you have, really, when you crash out from the lead, especially. I know how that feels. The first ever Tier 1 race that we held, I was leading, and I did crash at Copse Corner, and I'll never live that moment down. But anyway, it's Robsu leading us around. When's he going to go?
Here we go, then.
I think he's gone. Yes, he has. We're racing once again, and Robsu has turned this restart fairly well, although Mango is closing in already, using the battery to close up as well. There's some shuffling going on a bit further back, though. Mango nowhere through. Pommy, Alex, and Krauser, side by side they go. Pommy keeping the place for now. Womack's trying to find a way around the outside of turn 2 at the moment. There's carnage toward the back. That's the... Darth and a couple other cars as well caught up in an incident, but Womack is up into P4 now.
Yeah, Matthias got tagged by JB. I was riding on board through turn 2. Mr. J-Man having a look at Tier, not able to make the move, but yeah, that was unfortunate. I think there was a bit of lag involved, but I think JB does still have to take the blame. Darth up to P9 and now pressuring JB for P8 down the inside of Lesmo 1. JB leaves him just enough room. He didn't have to. but obviously self-preservation kicking in for the Williams driver. But Darth getting very feisty in that Ferrari. He's not happy, clearly, as Womack gets past Pommy for P3 on the run to Ascari.
Yeah, Womack's in the Haas, really lighting up the timing boards and sort of with some great pace out there, and he may not be far off of challenging Maniac Mango for P2 at the moment. So the reserve driver in the Haas having a great time out there on the circuit already. Pommy Alex, though, he's keeping it clean for the time being. That's very wide from Mango in the McLaren at the moment. I'm sure the stewards might have something to say about that. Darth, meanwhile, very close to the back of this Williams. I think a move is on the cards here. The Ferrari is way in the diffuser. It's the inside line now for the Ferrari. They're going to go side by side into the Rettifilio chicane. They've done this a couple times already. In towards the corner he goes, and that's an easy position for Darth Nihilus, and he's up into P8 now, and he'll be looking ahead. But that pit stop, of course, that's what's going to haunt him, not stopping under the safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and LB. Remember, Robsu and Maniac still have to stop as well. Womack, interestingly, he went onto another set of mediums under the safety car, so he has to stop again too. So right now, and Pommy has to stop. So right now, the net leader of this race is Crozer 17, Sumo, with Tia in second.
Wow. Look at that. Crozer finding himself in quite the position. And yeah, Tia could be in. And Tia's actually got a bit of pace behind him in that Mercedes. And he's closing in on Crozer as well. So this is a race that's certainly not going to be, well, not over till it's over. And you could say that about every race, I suppose. But there's a lot of pages still left to be written in this race for the time being as well. And look, Womack is closing up onto Mango as well. And J-Man's in there for a threat too. He's definitely got... Oh, was that someone around us? Mango's round!
Mango round at Parabolica. Disaster for the McLaren. He's definitely going to have to come in now, I would have thought.
Here comes Tia and Krause are going to go side by side up the inside line for the Mercedes. The Williams not really got anywhere to go. He's got Pommy ahead of him. But the brakes just late enough to cover off the Mercedes. But Tia looks for the outside. Just covered off by the Mercedes. Closing that door as they exit the Rettifilio chicane down through Curva Grande now. And a great shot from the helicopter there. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. Meanwhile, Darth Nihilus, he's making moves now on the Aston Martin and Mr. J-Man. He's up the inside into the Della Roggia chicane he goes, and he's up into P6 now. It's a comeback drive from the Ferrari, but I don't know how much it's going to pay off for him.
Yeah, he's not getting those mediums to the end, Sumo. They're not going another 17 laps. No way. So he's going to have to stop again. So all this is pretty much in vain as Crozer and Tia continue to fight. This is for the net race lead after the front four all come in. Mr. J-Man has a 3-second time penalty, and Bergen gets one as well at the same corner. So here come the track limits penalties. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more.
Yeah, there's certainly will. Very easy to get penalties, especially through the Ascari chicane. It's very deceptive, that corner, that set of corners, I should say. Womack is closing on the back of Robsu, and I think he might have just enough to make a move, although he's not got too much battery left compared to the Ferrari.
Yeah.
But the Ferrari going to the inside line as well. Side by side they go into the Rettifilio chicane, and Womack's not left too much space into turn one, and there was, I think, a little bit of contact there and a lock-up or two as well. But the Haas not being denied.
Darth on Tia. Sorry, Sumo, to interrupt. Here he goes round the Curva Grande. Darth Nihilus on the outside. He's going to have the inside for the Della Roggia. I think Tia might just let him go. He's not going to. He's going to hang around the outside, and that could be a mistake. Darth ahead, and Tia's now under pressure from Mr. J-Man, who is through around the outside of Lesmo 1, and Mr. J-Man up to P6. Tia is going to hold it down the inside, but has to back out before Lesmo 2. Very sensibly, and that's given a lot of time to Crozer. JB losing, getting a place on LB as well in the meantime.
Yeah, and LB's under threat from Bergen now, who carried the momentum through after LB got through, and they're side by side coming down into the Ascari chicane. Now around the outside goes the AlphaTauri, and into the gravel he goes. I don't think that was any fault from LB at all. It was no contact between them, just overcooked it a little bit, but Bergen not getting past on that occasion.
Yeah, Bergen just overcooking the braking zone there. I think he races with no assist, so very understandable. Tears round! Tears round the Parabolica!
No!
He's done what Maniac Mango did a few laps ago, down to P12. Disaster for him. Matthias
Here comes
is going to be
Darth
there as well.
down the inside of Krauser now into P4. They're still side by side as they go. Krauser's going to go all the way around the outside and try and make it as hard as he possibly can for the defending champion. But Darth sneaks his way through now. But that's going to invite J-Man ever closer to the back of that Williams. And remember, Krauser's your net race lead once these top 4 drivers come into the pits. So it's J-Man versus Krauser at the moment.
Yeah, LB is there as well in P7. He's looking to gain his way up the grid as well, but he's got to stop too. They're going to be hoping for another safety car at some point, but you can't rely on that.
Muhiti and Berger. Muhiti's around!
Oh no! Was there contact?
There was a little bit. There was a little bit of wheel banging between the two of them. I think it was only light, but that was
Mr.
just
J-Man
enough.
round as well. His teammate at the second Lesmo. Mr. J-Man down to P10 in the Aston Martin. There's so many bottle jobs going on here, Sumo. Like I said before the race, and wow. I mean, nothing can be certain here in Monza.
You know what, Ghost? This could be a Williams 1-2 if it all goes according to plan.
Yeah, it could well be. What a result it would be for them. And Ferraris have both got to stop, which would send them all the way down the grid. The Red Bulls, LB has got to stop. Lawrence is out. So Williams have got a real chance to get themselves well up the constructors' table and right with Red Bull.
I mean, that's all it takes is a driver pairing that does everything that they have to do. Excuse me, a bit of a voice crack there. Does everything that they have to do to just finish in the points and just get a decent result, and it's going to pay off. It seems they're in amongst a bunch of drivers who have to come in. They don't have to stop, and barring any safety cars, really, if it all goes, if it's all green towards the end, and I will, I reserve the right to not stick to these words. It could be a Williams 1-2 toward the end of this race.
Yeah, don't commentate as coincidence. Muhiti is now going to bin it at Lasmo 1. Watch.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
gosh.
it's like you say. I mean, nothing is certain, but it's looking very good for Williams at the moment. Although JB has fallen off the back of LB. Tier with a 3-second time penalty further back. Yeah, still 13 laps to go in this race at the end of this one, as Robsu comes across the line to start lap 15, still leading this race and doing what he needs to do, but it's not really enough, as Daphne Hillis makes another move for P3 further up. Pommy Alex sends it down the inside though, a bit of wheel banging. Daphne Hillis is through, but Pommy wasn't going to let him go too easily, as now Crozer is in the hunt for P4.
Very racy there from Pommy Alex, getting his elbows out and sending a move down the inside. Lawrence says, oh man, nobody can stop Darfis, but remember he's got to come in. He didn't stop during that safety car period, and those mediums are not making it to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't do 26 laps on the mediums at this track. It's just not going to happen. He's going to be hoping for a safety car. I think same with LB probably. And talking of LB, he's right behind Crozer. I wonder if Crozer's just going to let him go. J-Man gets himself another time penalty. It's not gone well for him today so far in that Aston Martin. But plenty of time to go. LB right behind still. Womack's right behind Robsu as well. And Tito fighting with Bergen for P8 in the meantime.
Yeah, it's looking good, and Bergen, Fido making their way down as well. There's a bit of a battle erupting between Matthias and Tier as well.
Max getting past. No, Robsu in the pits. So he has finally taken his stop. He's going to be onto the mediums till the end. That's the first of the ones that had to stop. LB gets past Crozer in the meantime, but he's got to stop as well. Pommy Alex and Womax and Darth Hillis all still have to stop. Womax only because he went back on the mediums again.
Yeah, and Robsu way down to P12. He's got a lot of work to do, a lot of catching up on those medium tyres. That's their one saving grace, I think, that the likes of Darth and I think Womack started on medium, so actually he has to go on the hards. But the likes of
he does.
Darth and LB and Robsu can all go onto a set of mediums, so they'll at least have some speed to try and catch up. But look, barely any battery left for Darth and Hillis at the moment. And same for LB's got a lot of battery left. Actually, I think he knows his situation at the moment, so that could be good for the Bread Ball. He hasn't got a teammate, of course. He's got to try and maximise the result where he can, but. There's Crozer, our net race leader at the moment, who is looking good for the time being. I won't comment on it too much because we all know what happens here. But yes, it's quite the race, and we've only got we're approaching 10 laps left or so. Is it 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 11 laps then.
Darth into the pits. We said he had to stop, and he is in for what I believe will be another set of mediums. I think Wumax is going to go medium, soft. I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to send them all the way to maybe lap 23 or so, and then put on a set of the softs. It was a slow stop for Darth. Tito also in. He was on the same strategy as Wumax, as Darth comes out in P11, just behind his teammate who's just gone through.
Yeah, I think his teammates actually lost a bit of time.
Yeah. Cold tyres, though.
Cold tyres, indeed. And Darth will inevitably lose a bit of time with cold tyres as well, but they'll be warm by about the time they get to the Lesmos, so it won't be too much difficulty for them. Side by side, Matthias and Tyr at the moment on the exit of the Della Roggia. There, as they were going through Lesmo 1 now. Tyr looking racy though. He's trying to find a way past the APPF1 at the moment. Tyr has penalties here, so they're not really racing for position unless Matthias gets a penalty. But the Mercedes barreling down. Looks like the outside line. Matthias just leaving enough room for Tyr. Tyr not finding a way through on this occasion, but he's so close to the back of that APPF1 as they make their way through Ascari now. It's a matter of when, not if, for this overtake, I think.
LB into the pits as well. He's the next one of those top 5, as Tyr surely going to make the move into turn 1 now, you would think, but you never know. He's going to have the DRS though all the way down. LB is going to come out maybe behind Darth. That will be the key. I think he will be behind Darth. Darth onto a set of mediums. LB onto the hards. Not sure about that one, but regardless, Darth up to P10. Matthias finally passed by Tyr, and Tyr can head off on his own now, because I think Matthias was the slower of the two, as he's up to P7. Mr. J-Man, and then, a lot of big gaps now for the front ones. Wumax and Pommy Alex still got to stop. Yeah,
certainly so. And LB way down in P13, not where he wants to be. And yes, a strange call for the hard tyres. He must have lost a lot of time under that safety car. Not safety car, that pit stop even. He was a lot closer.
Oh, Pommy spun, he's round. Is he out the race? No, he's still in it. His front wing is gone, but he's still got all 4 wheels. We do have a safety car, though, even so.
Whoa,
how is that a safety car, Codemasters? Come on. That's ridiculous.
Oh, my word.
The debris was in the gravel. Come on. Unbelievable. Well, that's going to be everyone into the pits. And it could be the massive saving grace for those who pitted just a moment ago, and they have hit a massive stroke of luck there. I can't believe that was a safety car. Pommy Alex into the pits for a new front wing. Robsu now all the way down the straight. He's going to be leading the race again. I can't believe that.
Handing them the lead.
That is a robbery, to be honest.
Yep, plain and simple. Absolute robbery.
Wow, daylight robbery.
Lawrence is not happy in the chat.
Yeah.
Understandably so. Oh.
Staying out on those hard tyres, he's going to be a sitting duck for those softs. How is that a safety car? That is ridiculous.
Yeah, and the softs as well. I don't think they're not going to feel too great toward the end of this race.
No.
They don't last very long around here.
Look at this. Darth and Hillis, it's a Ferrari 1-2 now. Robsu back to the lead. I think where he deserves to be, he did get absolutely screwed by the first safety car, but Darth does not deserve to be P2. No. I'm sorry, Darth, you're a great driver, but you do not deserve to be there right now.
No, not at all. How is that a safety car? Oh, virtual at best. Not even that. Yellow flag, man. Yellow flag.
I'd like to stress the safety car is on reduced.
Well, we could have had a Williams 1-2, but Codemasters has decided it should have been 100%. I think the biggest losers here are Crozer and JB.
Yeah.
Because they were in such a good place.
And obviously Red Bull in general. But yeah, that's...
I say we stop the count before Pommy's incident.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you're top dog, Ghost. You can make these calls, right?
Oh, I wouldn't do that. No. Whether I think it's a robbery or not, I can't change what the game does. I can't unsafety car. But yeah, Tito into the pits for some fresh soft tyres. The mediums will be fine. The softs will struggle towards the end, but I think they'll be okay. So it's going to be all about whether those soft runners can make moves, but I think Robsu and Darth are just going to run away with this easily on those mediums, because Womax is going to help hold up everyone behind. The soft tyres are going to be getting past too many people, and by then the top two will have a 3 or 4 second gap, I reckon. So I think the race for the win is well and truly over, but there's plenty of battles to come.
Yes, certainly so, and we should be getting back underway, I think, this lap. Hello DTS Ayrton, nice of you to join in. Yes, let's see the final part. It was sort of robbed of any sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Something different, I guess, by the safety car and by Codemasters. Lawrence says, end the race lap 5. You wish, my friend, you wish. But yes, it's a Ferrari 1-2 thus far. Robsu's going to get us going for the second time this evening. Hopefully the last time, maybe not. It could all kick off. You never know. Muhiti, if you've got the Latifi button on your wheel, now would be a great time. Or maybe just the lap after the safety car has come in. But yes, let's go racing once again. Any second now. Warming up the tyres, weaving from left to right, getting that tyre warmth and ready, getting them into the optimal window. When is Robsu going to go? I think he's gone. There he goes. He's trying to catch everyone sleeping. At the moment, he doesn't quite catch his teammate sleeping, though. Will there be team orders of Ferrari? Who knows? There's absolute carnage at the back now. There's a huge scrap going on for places. Back here, the two Williams involved with an AlphaTauri and the two Aston Martins as well, side by side. They go. Muhiti and Krauser's got the inside line as well. Whoa. Deep goes the Aston Martin as well. There's a big bit of contact going further along at the moment, but Krauser up into P4. He's clear of Muhiti for the time being. He's way down as well on Womax, who he needs to try and catch up and get past at the moment. Bergen is chasing after.
For Indela Rogier, and Darth is into the lead of this race. Robsu down to P2. Womax is there in P3 still. Womax 4th. Bergen up to P5, but he does have that penalty. Muhiti is surviving on those hards for now, but for how much longer? As I believe it was Tier who got damage, just couldn't slow down in time for turn 1, and Mr. J-Man passed him for P9 as well.
Something tells me that there's no team orders at Ferrari. I think Robsu was looking. He could have had a run at him into Ascari. I wonder why he didn't. Maybe there is some team orders going on. Maybe Darth is going to be left to his own devices, but I want to see teammates fight as well. They're the biggest comparison between one another in the sport as well, and that's what we like to see, especially if there is a bit of drama to spice things up as well. But here's some battles, here's some drama already. Pommy Alex and J-Man, they've had a few battles in their time, going side by side down the main straight now, trying to get themselves into the slipstream of the Williams ahead of them at the moment. But those soft tyres are working well on the Aston Martin, but Pommy Alex is still there. Matthias trying to find a way through it. He's gone down the inside and he's taken Mr. J-Man with him by locking up and hitting the Aston Martin. He's not going to be happy with that.
J-Man will be fuming about that one. Matthias up to P11, but yeah,
oh,
not
Bergen's
ideal.
got past Krauser.
He has, yeah, he got him into turn 1, so Bergen up to P4. Can he extend those 5 seconds? Maniac Mango down the inside of Pommy Alex, a bit of wheel banging between them, but I don't think anything too bad there. It's just Pommy got the better run, and Maniac still has to settle for P9. Tito's there as well in case anything goes wrong. Tia down to P12. We've got Maniac Mango now with a 3-second time penalty, so him and Tito racing for position as Bergan continues to try and chase after Wumax.
Yeah, and Womack's keeping touch with the Ferraris as well, so it's not all over yet. Womack's has had some good pace all race, actually, and it's been doing very well to stay up there. I mean, he's not a slow driver by any means, is Womack's, but we don't often see him toward the front, and when we do, it's normally a great performance from him at the moment. Daphne Hiller's fastest man on track once again. And Bergen going to look to try and close in, but Krauser keeping touch with the AlphaTauri at the moment. He's got Muhiti as well and his teammate for company as well. They're all jostling and trying to find ways past one another at the moment. But it's still the Ferraris, 1-2. Daphne Hillis, followed by Robson, then Womax, Bergen, Krauser and Muhiti and JBS Steve. Your top 7 at the moment.
I don't think Robsu has the pace to keep up with Darth. Darth is just going to run away with this one now. Robsu out of DRS range already, and that is going to be that for the race, unless there's a mistake from Darth. We saw it from Lawrence earlier on. He binned it from the lead, but I think Darth is one of those people who, once he's out in front, he does not make any errors. So we will see, but Ferrari 1-2 looking very likely. Wumax is holding on to P3 on those hards.
Very well done. He's making his way up the inside of Muhiti at the moment, and it's into the Ascari chicane, and that was a fairly simple move from JBS Steve. They're going to try and maximise the points as where they can. Oh, Maniac Man goes round!
I don't know if there was contact. It looked like they were close, but Mango round at Ascari down to P13, and he was running in P1 for a couple of laps this race, so he's going to be gutted at how this has turned out. Muhiti just behind JB. Pommy Alex is there as well on those mediums, looking to take advantage of Muhiti's terrible hard tyres and no ERS either on that Aston Martin. It's all happening in the midfield.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's all kicked off here in these dying stages of the race. And I think if the safety car, I don't think a safety car really can come out now, as we're a little bit too deep into the race. Tier's gone round now as well. Absolute calamity. Meanwhile, Krauser is very close to the back of Bergen. He's just got to stay behind him, really. And that'll be the Williams pair up a couple of places because of Bergen's time penalty. But he'll want to try and get past. Womax closing in on Robsu as well. Can Womax steal P2?
Can he indeed? Yeah, Krauser's going to be thinking about Wumax. He's going to want to get that podium. He's still on the better tyre, so he definitely wants to get past this AlphaTauri. He doesn't want to just sit behind for the time penalty, because you got extra points for finishing on the podium here in APPF1. JB just a bit too far behind to make any sort of moves. Muhiti sticking with him for now, but Pommy Alex is going to be right there on the run to turn 1.
He certainly is, and there's lots of little scraps going on down here, so close to the back of that Aston Martin is Pommy Alex, and I think a move is imminent as they go down the main straight for what will be the third to last time at the moment, and it's the inside line, and Muhiti's not really got anything to fight along with this, but he's going to stay side by side. They're going to continue to scrap as they go through. The inside is now for the Aston Martin, and Pommy's round!
Too much gravel for Pommy. He's round, and the two former teammates, no love lost. Pommy's beached. He's beached on the grass, and that's going to be his race over. Oh dear, what a shame for Pommy, undeserved. No love lost between the former teammates clearly. Mr. J-Man trying to get past Matthias as well for P9, but Pommy Alex has been disqualified from the session. I think I will classify him though, but we'll see. Wumax right there behind Robsu. Crozer is now in DRS range, so the battle for the podium lighting up. Darth is going to win this race very easily, but P2 far from decided with 2 laps to go at the end of this one.
Yeah, and Kraus is really going to be hungry for it. He'll feel robbed, I think, after that second safety car, and he'll want to get himself on the podium. And I think that's where he deserves to be today. He drove exceptionally.
Oh, Robsu's binned it!
Oh, Robsu's round!
A Parabolica, he's round. Front wing gone, he's still in the race, but he's going to be all the way down to P10. And 25 laps of fantastic driving from Robsu, all taken away in one cruel moment. And he's still going to get some points, but what a shame for him in the Ferrari. Wumax up to P2, Crozer onto the podium, deservedly so, but Wumax going to be under a lot of pressure on the run to turn 1 on the final lap.
Yeah, he is, and I think Krauser does have the advantage here, and it's now become a battle for the 2 places on the podium rather than the 2 places and position number 4. Bergen not really in this fight as far as his penalty is concerned, unless it's something that can be removed by the stewards. But Krauser has got to put in the lap now. He's got to put the work in to get past that Haas at the moment, and he's got the pace to do it. He's been driving so well all race long in that Williams, and he deserves this podium finish. And if he can get himself into P2, I think he'll be happy with that. It'll be a great result for Williams. They'll be the highest placed team, position 2 and 5 if they do manage it, or 3 and 5 as they stand thus far. They've got 1 lap to decide it.
Yellow flags.
J-Man's round.
Yeah, and a Ascari. But here we go, the run to turn 1. Can Crozer get anywhere near? J-Man's been disqualified, I don't know how. But Bergen with the DRS, he's doing what he has to do. Crozer, though, here he goes. DRS on Wumax, round the outside, on the run to turn 1. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can! Brilliant move from Crozer, up to P2. What an overtake from him. Bergen is round! Oh no! Bergen has binned it! At turn 2, his guaranteed P4 has turned into a disaster. Down to P7, it will be P8 after the penalty. What a shame for him. We've got yellow flags and another place as well. It's all kicking off in these last few laps. Darth Nihilus is going to win, but Crozer, what a drive from him to P2.
Exceptional drive from Krauser, and he's done. That was an incredible overtake at the Rettifilio. They're going round the outside, made sure he got his car in a position and forced himself onto the racing line for the second part of the corner. And Wumax really had nothing left to fight him with. The mediums are still in their sort of prime working window thus far, so they're still going to have a lot more over it. But could it be a surprise attack from Wumax into Parabolica? I don't think so. He's not close enough. But Darth Nihilus, he's going to make his way around the final corner now, and he is going to win race number 2. It's one for Lawrence, 1 for Darth, and it's Krauser in P2. An exceptional drive, and I think our driver of the day, without having to look over and go for it, with Wumax P3. A great drive from the reserve. JB comes home in 4th. 5th is Muhiti. Fido Man 6th. Bergen and Matthias 8th with Mango. Oh, he spun again at Parabolica for good measure, but I think he's going to come home in P9 in the McLaren. And then Robsu. Oh, Robsu, can he get fastest lap at the end? And that'll be what we can hope for, at least. I don't know if he was able to, or close enough to do it. Let's see as he comes around to the line now. He's going to be coming home P10 regardless. Let's see, is it fastest lap for the Ferrari?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
He got it by 3/10 from LB. So crucial point there for Ferrari. LB is going to come home in P12, just crawling to the finish line to secure those 8 points. But yeah, Muhiti, what a drive from him as well. Those hard tyres, 21 laps, kept it together when everyone else was losing their heads. And in the top 5, great result for the Turkish driver who almost came away as Tier 2 champion a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, still got it seems. That's probably one of his better races over the last over the last season and a bit. But yes, LB just crawling across the line. Not the day that Red Bull wanted nor needed. Ferrari are going to close up on them on the Constructors' Championship, but there's still 8 rounds of racing left to go. But today your winner is Darth Nihilus and the games driver of the day. But once again, I'll reiterate that I think Krauser is our driver of the day as far as we're concerned. He drove an exceptional race. And we'll move over now to the interviews chat for an interview with the top 3. Again, sorry to blue screen everybody. I know you must all enjoy the podium celebration that we see time and time again. Oh, I think my game just crashed. Amazing. That's what you want to see.